Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
It's a sunny afternoon.
It is.
What have we been watching? Late at night, though.
Well, it's not that late at night, but we have been...
Well, with our tea.
Yes. We've been watching Quatermass and The Pit.
Ooh.
The television series.
So far we've seen episodes 1 and 2, and how have we been able to see them?
They're on BBC iPlayer.
Which is lovely.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because have you ever seen Quatermass and The Pit?
No,
before?
I've seen what exists of the Quatermass experiment
Right.
and what exists of Quatermass 2.
Well, that's the whole of Quatermass 2. Quatermass 2 is complete.
No, well, all
Yeah.
of Quatermass 2 then. I can never remember what's what. But for some reason, because we've got it on DVD, we hadn't got around to watching Quatermass and The Pit.
But I have seen it because
Yes.
I saw it on VHS. It was released by the BBC many hundreds of years ago as a compilation of all 6 episodes.
Okay.
In fact, it was so long that they had to put an intermission halfway through at the end of part 3.
Well, it's like you could go for a
so you
wee.
could go for a pee, and even then it was slightly cut down version. But these are what, 35-minute
35 minutes
sort of episodes, aren't
And
they?
they sort of zip along, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that it really does stand up to in an episodic format, isn't it? Which is, of course, is how it's designed.
Designed to be watched. Yes.
But yeah, that VHS was frankly a bit of a slog because there was just no breaks. But watching one episode a night is really rather wonderful. But episode 1 is from the 22nd of December 1958, I believe.
All
yes.
right.
So we always do our thing of seeing what was on that night. And 6:45 tonight with Cliff Mitchell. News summary. 7:30. This is Your Life with Eamon Andrews.
Don't know who that was.
It just says Eamon Andrews says This is Your Life (?).
And it was directed by Via Lorimer.
Is it? Where? This programme directed by Via Lorimer. Goodness me. I hadn't noticed that. Oh, well spotted. Quatermass and The Pit, episode 1, The Half Men. 8 o'clock. And then 8:35, The Phil Silvers Show. Oh dear. Sergeant Bilko's record records he is really an officer. Lieutenant Bilko. And then Panorama.
Lieutenant.
No.
He's the American Army. They call him Lieutenant.
I can't help that. And then 9:45, Those Beverly Sisters.
Okay.
Those Beverly Sisters,
Beverly
not
Sisters.
those Beverly Sisters. Those Beverly Sisters.
Okay.
The ones over there, I suppose. But yes, so this first episode, it obviously sets it up. So what's the setup? You've got this dig going on,
Yes,
haven't
they're
you?
digging. I suppose I think they're going to build houses or something, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that.
Because I know in the film it's an extension to the London
To the
Underground.
tube, yeah.
But there isn't a reason. Whatever it is, I think they're building houses. They're digging the ground with a not with a forklift truck. That'd be silly.
Yeah.
With a digger.
A big digger.
Yeah, and they find a skull,
Yes.
and it's obviously quite an old skull.
Yes.
So
Well, the tests indicate it's 5 million years old, doesn't
Yes.
it? And of course, the sort of scientific community isn't really having this because this is like undiscovered sort of missing link thing, isn't
Yes.
it?
Hominids.
I beg your pardon. But Andre Morel is Quatermass here, isn't he? Because again he's the third incarnation of Quatermass, which
Quatermass,
makes him
yes.
the John Pertwee Quatermass,
He does,
doesn't it?
Yes. He's not quite flamboyant. He has got a bow tie though.
Yeah.
He's not really flamboyant enough to be the John Pertwee
Yeah.
Quatermass.
And I like the fact he's disappointed by cheese sandwiches at one point because
Well, he asked for something plain.
and then he gets cheese sandwiches
He's like,
and he look, oh, cheese.
Cheese, yeah.
He was clearly wanting something a bit better.
Yes.
But yes, that's the thing. We've only seen up to episode 2, so we don't want to spoil too much of the plot at all, really.
No.
Because the fact that this is available on iPlayer, if you haven't seen it,
Watch it.
I'd really push because this is, I think, quite a brave move for BBC iPlayer to put something this ancient on available. Because the whole point of iPlayer really is to catch up on stuff you missed
recently
during the last week, not to catch up on something from 1958,
But then I would argue that if you have these things there in your archive, almost as and I don't want to sound like it's because I love BBC, but for your licence fee payers, you should put stuff on that's not just recently been done. That goes through the entire history of your existence if it's there.
I mean, I am always keen for people to discover old telly. Obviously, I mean that's why we do the podcast. But this looks really good. Doesn't it?
It does. It really just looks. I mean, it obviously works with the subject matter because it is in black and white and it gives it an atmosphere.
Yeah.
But really, it almost looks like it's just it's colour with colour turned down.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of this is actually the original 35mm film sequences because there was a compilation repeat that they showed, and they just spliced all the film into it, and that still survives. So they've been able to reconstruct. They still had the episodes, yes, but they've been able to reconstruct it in much better quality because this is a sort of restoration team job, and you know how meticulous they are. And what's come out the other end for Quatermass and The Pit looks fantastic. It really, really does. And this is the thing: people think old telly should look rubbish,
and it shouldn't look like
the trouble is
now.
People don't get to see decent copies of stuff. Because it's like that episode of The Good Old Days, that 50s one.
Yeah, that looked really good.
And that was on 35mm film, and it looked amazingly good. I couldn't believe how good it was. I suppose we should say the Clive Doig story, shouldn't we?
Yes.
That we were lucky enough to meet Clive Doig a few years ago.
And he was fishing mixer on this, or was he?
No,
he was still alive,
I think he was really sort of. No, he wasn't.
Junior, no, because he wouldn't be. This is pre.
He just joined the BBC, I think. I forget what he was actually doing, but it was him and somebody else. Were going home on the bus, and they'd taken some bricks off of the set. False sort of jabberlike bricks, and they chucked one at the bus conductor or something, wasn't it? And then he sort of bounced off him, and they sort of said about how these bricks are false. And then every time anybody got on the bus, a share of false bricks would
be thrown at
them. So yes, but who have you got in here apart from Andre Morel? Because there's some names that you spotted. John Stratton's in there, isn't he?
Looking really young. From obviously the two Doctors and the second or third series of It's Dark Outside. Because he's only in a couple of episodes.
Second series of It's Dark Outside. There isn't a third season of It's Dark Outside.
It's one of the about 3 episodes. Or no, he's in all of the 3 or 2 episodes that exist from the second series.
But Michael Ripper's in there.
Michael Ripper. You always know you're in good company with Michael Ripper.
Yeah. But you've certainly got some people looking young, and even Arthur Hewlett's in there, isn't he?
Yeah. Looking marginally less old.
I'm going to say not particularly young at all, is he? So that's quite fun.
Yeah. I noticed as well, I meant to say to you that it's got Harold Goodwin in, who's in That's My Boy.
Oh, blimey, is he?
He's he's the corporal.
Oh, right, yes. But what is he in That's My Boy?
He's Molly Sugden's ne'er-do-well brother.
Oh, right, okay. I remember, yes.
So, yeah.
But yeah, as you said, this is a very good example of how you don't need elaborate special effects to create an air of tension. No. It's all done with, decent acting. The sets are decent because the capsule itself is a substantial,
sturdy,
substantial prop, isn't it? But that bit, especially in episode 2, when Quatermass goes in the supposed haunted house with the policeman, and they're saying they find some scratches on the wall, don't they? And the policeman starts to get a bit sort of rattled, doesn't he? Yeah. And then you've got the old couple that are having their tea leaves done, aren't they? Yes. So it does feed into sort of folklore and things like that, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, I never have read that much about Nigel Neal, because you were saying about the whole thing about the rocket group is being sort of taken over by the military, and is Nigel Neal making a point here about science being should be apart from the military? I think possibly
it just gives me the feeling that Nigel Neal really doesn't like the military and the military mind. And of course he probably would have been in the army and done national service.
I can't comment on Nigel Neal, and we should perhaps read some more.
We have got a book about him.
About him.
But bearing in mind is what he was married to Judith Kerr, and Judith Kerr had to...
Oh, that's Mogg.
She wrote the
Mogg books. Yeah.
But she'd had to escape with her family from Germany because she was Jewish, and obviously they didn't like Jewish people. So, maybe that he was influenced by that to a certain extent. So.
And you can always tell how popular a series is by how many parodies and things it creates. And Quatermass And The Pit certainly scores highly in that respect, doesn't it? Because you've got the Goon Show episode, The Scarlet Capsule, which we have got, and again, I don't want to quote too much of that, but we sort of listened to a bit to that again today, and there's a Hancock's half hour, Hancock's half hour, the horror serial, which unfortunately all that exists is a really, really poor off-air audio recording, which is I tried listening to it just now, and I made out about 1 word in 20. Yeah.
Sounds like it's been recorded underwater.
Yeah, which is a great show. I'd love to see Hancock's take on sort of Quatermass, because in Quatermass they think this capsule's an unexploded bomb, don't they? And in Quatermass it's the other way round. He thinks it's a spaceship, and it does turn out to be an exploded bomb.
In Hancock.
In Hancock, yes. Yeah. But also, what Doctor Who connections were you spotting in terms of plot? Because I said to you that there's a bit of Image of the Fendal in there, isn't it? Because when they find the sort of pentagram or whatever.
Yes.
And and the whole thing, as we'll get into later, about sort of aliens influencing human development and stuff like that.
You've got a sort of, you can take your pick really there. You've got the demons, you've got not Scaroth. Yeah, Scaroth.
Yeah.
Last of the Jaggeroths.
Okay,
Who has influenced the human race.
But that's the thing, although Nigel Neal wasn't keen on Doctor Who, I think a lot of people that worked on Doctor Who were quite keen on Nigel Neal, wasn't it?
Nigel Neal, yes.
So, I mean, I don't think we should say much more about plot, but, just to flag it up, that Quatermass And The Pit is about, I don't know how long it's going to be available for.
Probably it's usually about a month.
Yeah. So do yourself a favour and
watch it
and look it up, because I think you'll enjoy it.
You've also got some plays on there, and you've got the War Game, which I've never seen. But is that the nuclear war one?
I don't really know much about it. Well, it's a black and white job, So but there's a whole load of black and white stuff, isn't there?
Yes, it's really nice to have some black and white stuff on there.
Okay, well, we'll say good night now, and
good night.
Yeah, well,
good afternoon.
It'll be night by the time they get round to watching it, or morning. I don't know. Ta-ra!
Bye.